the Lord. Dear friends, he discovered that he would be tossed into a place of torment. He might have thought, what did I do to deserve this? I did not do any harm to Lazarus. I did not kick him or call him names. I did not bully him. I did not call the police to have him removed from my property. I didn't do anything. And that, of course, is the point that Jesus wanted to make in telling this parable. The poor rich man did not do anything. He's being punished not for something he did, but for what he did not do. What the church calls a sin of omission. He had many chances to do something good for Lazarus, but he did not take any of them. Both Jews and Christians believe that if you can do some good for a person in need, you're obliged to do it. That was what Abraham is talking about here when he says Moses and the prophets. That's the teaching of Moses and the prophets, and the teaching of the Catholic Church. Or as one person said, a ninth grade girl, actually, some years ago, I am only one person. I cannot do everything, but I can do something. And what I can do with God's help, I will do. You wonder why the poor rich man did not see that. And I think it probably had something to do with his upbringing. I found that adults who respond in a positive way to people in need likely started to do that when they were children. Just finished a book. It's a biography of John D. Rockefeller. And I found this a very interesting fact. When John D., little Johnny, was 8 years old, he made a decision that he would give 10% of his income to his local Baptist church in support of the church's ministry to the poor. He did this largely because his mother set a good example for him, and because tithing was part of the culture of a Baptist church. Giving 10% of your income was kind of part of the air that they breathed there. It was a natural thing. And that 10% did not amount to much at all because the Rockefellers were extremely poor. But by the time John died, almost 90 years later, he was not a poor rich man like the man in the gospel story. He was fabulously wealthy, and the percentages had been reversed. He was giving away 90% of his income. Here's a story I love telling. If you've heard it before, don't stop me. Or maybe you saw it in the Buffalo News or on Channel 7 or read about it in our parish newsletter, Spirit and Life. A couple of years back, the 5th grade class at St. Gregory's School read a book called A Long Walk. Who have to walk several miles a day to get fresh water for their village, because there's no water in the village. So the kids, that's part of their chore. They're the ones that have to go and finished reading that book, they asked the most natural kind of question. But it's a question that the poor rich man did not ask. The kids asked, what can we do? What can we do to help? And I suppose many of those kids must have thought, I'm only one person, and I'm only 10. I cannot do everything, but I can do something. And what I can do, with God's help, I will do. So they got in touch with a firm that actually drills wells in Africa. But they needed to raise a lot of money to pay for the school and many, many people in the parish, and ended up raising $7,800. And 4 months ago, last May, they got good news from Africa. The well is in and up and working. Why did they ask? What can we do to help? Probably because of the example set by their parents and teachers. Of the Catholic school, and especially St. Gregory Parish. Part of the air, very air that we breathe. We naturally, when we see someone in need, we naturally say, what can I do to help? And as a parish, we can be proud of what we are doing, because we do ask ourselves, what can we do to help? We also make sure that that's a question that our young people are asking when they encounter people in need. Let us give thanks to the Lord our God. Amen.